All right, guys. So as promised, let's do a quick. So number one, let's just start out with this. A lot of what I'm doing here, I learned actually. There's two ways to go about this. Actually, three. You could forget about all this and just go straight up old school collector of real arcades. Like these are 3/4 arcade scale. So but you could go full blown arcade scale, right? The downfall to that is that it's very hard. It's just horribly hard. To Number one, they're super heavy. Number two, they're really hard to maintain. And number three, they're very, very expensive. So you could either do that or you could do this. And on top of that, the real ones, the big ones, they take up a lot more room than this. And so that's why I didn't go that route. I could have, as much as all this other stuff that I have, I could have gone that route. But I didn't really feel that I had the amount of people playing them and all that. My nephews and nieces come over and they play these. The families come over and play these, but not to where they're playing them every day or once a week or anything like that. They come over on special occasions and stuff, right? So let's deep dive into this. Number one, I learned a lot of this from a guy named ETA Prime, and I'll put his, I'll put a link to his video that started all of this mess in the description below. But most of these, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are stock. So number one, you guys used to see the ones that I had in my room. Those were not. Two of those were stock. One of them was custom, very custom. It was the Aliens versus Predator. That one that I custom did the artwork and everything for. But anyways, this one is stock. This was a plain old ARCADE1UP Marvel vs. Capcom. It's got that many games on it. Didn't mess with it at all. I think it looks fine the way it is. And so I just left it, really. There's nothing to do there. I wanted Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what I bought it for. So there's nothing to do there. Now, when I bought this one was a Street Fighter cab, I believe, way back in the day. And this is actually my favorite. So we'll come back to this one because I'll tell you so much about this one. This one right here, again, almost stock. This is also an ARCADE1UP, Killer Instinct. It has Killer Instinct 1 and 2. I think you could see it down there. Killer Instinct 1, 2, and Battletoads on it. I happen to like Killer Instinct, the first one. I grew up on it, messing around with it, playing it. There is one thing that I did with it because it sounded wimpy when I first got it. So what I did was I bought a really good subwoofer and speakers, and I routed the sound through that. And actually, you can go back here, and if you need to, I don't do it very often, but if you're gonna get down and get some serious playtime, you got to fire up the subwoofers, and that'll kick in the right. I didn't fire this one up because essentially this one, what it does is it actually, you let me know if you want a more in-depth dive into this or not. But this actually will let you hook up a Nintendo Switch to it, and then you can play Nintendo games on it. Let me know if you want to hear more about that or not. This is a toy action figure collector channel, but you guys see some of this stuff that happens, and I get questions about it. So here you go. I'm going through it. Let me know which way you want to go. It's just fun. We're doing this channel for fun, Every time somebody goes bonkers in the comments, I'm like, how much space am I renting in this dude's head? Because I'm not paying for anything. People just go bananas in there. Again, this is just for fun. I'm letting you guys into some of the projects that I have. Some of these I've built with my family. Some of these, they've learned about electronics. Anyways, I love electronics and everything having to do with IT stuff and all that. This one is also, hey, here's a quarter. Who's got up next? This one is actually stock as well. Marvel Superheroes. There is nothing changed on this one. Same for this one. It's also stock. Ridge Racer. Bought it stock. I haven't done anything to it. Didn't want to do anything to it. Same goes for this. It's Time Crisis, right? Stock. my favorite one is over there, and we'll get to it in a minute. Mortal Kombat also stock. There's nothing weird or crazy about this one. This one is one of my favorites. This was one of the first ones that I built back in the day. And it started out as a Rampage machine. That's what it was originally touted as by ARCADE1UP. Let me grab this. Let's fire it up. I added a sound bar up at the top because it had wimpy speakers. It's just a regular old sound bar I picked up somewhere on Amazon. But let's fire it up real quick. And I'll kind of show you, kind of walk you through. This is one of the first systems I built, right? Raspberry Pi is inside of it. I ripped out the guts. Oh my goodness. I better turn that down before I get a copyright. I hope that doesn't copyright me. So anyways, when this first started, again, RetroPie was the big deal. I haven't even messed with this image. It's perfect the way it is. It's got a ton of games on it, right? So it's got an intro screen. You get on there. I customized those. These actually work. You can actually do coins with these. You don't have to put any coin, but I lit them up like that. And again, what I'll do is downstairs I have an easy build, and I'll show you how you're able to do most of these old school games. Now, some of the stuff that I'm going to show you how to do is not going to be like if you want to get something that plays like PS2 or, you know, some serious emulation, you're going to have to do something else. You know, I'm going to show you the only one that I have that can play some seriously cool stuff. A lot of people have already forgotten about, but that's my favorite one, and we'll get to that in a minute. So this is how many games are on here. Look at this. You could just, you know, this was my first build. These are actually really pretty good controllers, like really good controllers. I hardened the deck here, so you can really go to town on this one and fight, and you know, set up stuff. It's got so many. I don't know. It's got something like 30,000 games on here. Just games for days. You know, just keep going, and you can play just tons of them. You know, and this was my first one, so. Again, I just had a ton of fun doing this thing. So, yeah. All right. You know what? Let's go talk about my favorite arcade that I have here. And I'll kind of give you a background on it. This was actually pretty loud. This is the one that... So, this was my favorite one. Now, this one is highly customized. I mean, seriously customized. I've basically replaced the screen with a better one. Here, let's go into a game or something. This is, hold on, let me see if I can pop out of this real quick. Let me go back. My favorites. Let's go in there. Wait a minute, I have to remember. There it is. My favorite game on this, because it is very hard to play on any other one, is, where is it? Wait, it's up here. I'll show you one of my favorite games to play on this. That one. So let's pick it. Any of you guys remember this game right here called Cyvern? This is the game that I love to play because it is cool, scary. So anyways, this system, I replaced the sound. It's got a tremendous subwoofer in it. I replaced, this didn't come with this. I had to build this. Replaced the screen, replaced the deck controllers, added some speakers to it down there. Added these quarter, those actually work. And I'll show you in a minute that they actually work. And the brains behind all of this, let's see how many people know what this is. It's called an Odroid. For a while, a lot of people didn't know what that was. It's similar to a RetroPie, like the first versions, but this one is way more powerful. The Odroids are way more powerful. But again, the Odroids, I mean, that technology is about, I'm going to say about 5 or 6 years old at this point. So there's probably something way more powerful than this. But this Odroid has served me tremendously well. It could play all of the games that I played up until like 1995 or so. And it plays them very well. And even some newer games it can play super well, like the Street Fighter Marvel vs. Capcom. This one can play it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This one can play it. And it's not tuned or anything. You can just haul through it. So this is the one that I really like. Here, see, look, I'll show you. See? Player one. Let's go, man. Who do I want to be? This guy. Let's go. Here we go. See there? Love it. So, you know, this is so much fun. This Odroid does not punk out. I mean, it's an older thing, but it works great. Now, you know what? Let's go downstairs and I'll show you the inside of one. All right, guys, so you both have seen, everyone has seen these two. Usually if you watch the weekly news video, you guys have seen both of these. Don't mind the old man picker-upper thing back there. Sometimes I gotta use it because my back is not the greatest. But you guys have seen, you know, this one and this one both on and running. This one is simply modified. And by that I mean I took the shortest route to give me a ton of games on it, and I'll show you how I did it. I'll rip the back out and I'll show you how to do it simply. I didn't want to start out with an advanced build because you guys can work up to that. I'm just going to show you. Essentially, I took an old, what is this one? Yeah, an old Street Fighter cabinet that I didn't need anymore. In case you didn't know, I love Street Fighter. And I started to mod the heck out of it, right? Marvel vs. Superheroes Capcom cabinet, an extra one that I had. And then this one is not made by ARCADE1UP. I forgot who's the company. I think it's MVSX. I think that's the company that did it. They're trying to emulate the old school Neo Geo feel, which it does marvelously. But you can actually modify this one too to not only play Neo Geo games, but any game. Like there's a ton of games that this is easily modifiable to play a ton of stuff. Look it up, just type in MVSX Neo Geo mod. If you happen to own this thing, I think this company's out of business now, but it looks beautiful, right? The old Neo Geo look to it. So I had to pick it up. Usually they just sell this top part. And then for a while they were doing that bottom part that connects to it. So that's why I picked it up. And it's got some real quality controllers on it. It's just well built. It's got the sound here, just different stuff that you could do. But anyways, so this one is modified literally just by that USB right there. There's kind of like a boot sequence, and it reaches into that USB first, and then it starts up the boot sequence for this particular system. And then boom, you can choose between Neo Geo, arcades, or exclusively Capcom games. Let me pull this one back and I'll show you the inside of this one so you can easily take a look. The easiest modification to do with ARCADE1UPs. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Number one, we have a volume button down here, which I added a control for so I could turn the volume up and down on it. Initially, these didn't come with volume controls. It just was what it was. So I have a volume button down there, and I also control it with kind of a remote on and off down there at the bottom that I added. Power switch is right here for it. So very simple stuff. Now, don't get freaked out when I open this. You know, it looks complicated, but it's really not. So, number one, let's see if I can get in here. Let's see if I can get in here without busting stuff. So, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through what some of these things are, right? This is the vertical controller board. And as you can see, I use some Tupperware to stand it off the metal plates. It doesn't matter what you use really, it just has to be non-conductive. I just happen to use this controller board or this plastic that doesn't conduct anything as a standoff for the back of this thing. Don't laugh, you know, you use what you have on hand to do it, and that's what was available to me. Screwed this back on with the screws that were provided to me, and then I added this is basically the controller board for the video. that comes on here. So, and this is a BOE, this is a good, this is the good screen. So you want that. So basically that is a Pandora Box CX, and you can buy these on Amazon. And it's literally almost just like a little Nintendo or something, right? You know, you can, and basically what this does is it's what has all the games on it. Just do a search for Pandora Box on Amazon or eBay or wherever you want to look for it. And you know, you got an HDMI out that goes into here that translate the data into the screen. That's what this does. This is the receiver. This screen doesn't come with the receiver ready signal to input it, right? So you got power to it. You got the HDMI out into the video controller board up here. The video screen is there. And then all of these, this harness down here has all of the inputs for the wiring of the buttons, you know, the joystick and all that stuff. Down here we have just all of the, you know, you got the speakers down there, very simple speakers. You've got the power supplies, some power stuff in there. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the easiest modification to one of these that you could do. Here's me doing the, there's my electrical work to the system so that I could get a varistor in there to power the volume for it. So that's pretty much all it is. And then also the power buttons. Well, actually, this is the power. Down there is the varistor for the volume. So anyway, I think that's what it was. Just a volume knob. It's really what it is. That's it. That's the simplest build. Like I said, I didn't want to get it too complicated for you. Eventually, once you build one of these, you could get way more complicated. There are some guys that actually take like PCs, like full-blown PCs with some power in them. Like, I think they call them NUCs. They're very powerful little tiny PCs, about this big. You can stick them on the side here, and they will literally play you every single video game and emulation that there is to play. I didn't want to invest thousands of dollars in that or hundreds of dollars. Really, I just wanted to, some of these are just done, like my favorite one upstairs, and I have to do all of that. The Odroid is the most complicated one because it's the one that requires the most programming, the most wiring, the most everything. But it turned out amazing and spectacular to this day. But anyways, this is the cheapest build that you could do probably and have it ready to go. I hope you enjoyed that. That's, maybe let me know if you want me to go in depth of any of the other ones, and we'll take a look at those as well. But guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. This wasn't the regular arcade. This wasn't our regular fare that we have on the channel. Usually it involves these guys, right? But a few of you have asked me about the arcades in the background, and that's what I do. I don't just have them back there doing stock stuff. I have them doing stuff that, that's special. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the shenanigans, why not like, why not subscribe? Helps out the channel, helps to recommend you some cool stuff that you might find interesting if you find yourself surfing on YouTube. And yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Special thanks to the members. As always, their input, generosity, guidance, and engagement allow me to bring you better content. All right, guys, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep doing these shenanigans.